There's so much room under this Christmas tree, don't you think? I think there's just a little too much room under this Christmas tree. I think we should do something about that. Hello everyone and welcome to Vlogmas Day 14. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different from what I've seen on YouTube. I've actually never seen someone do what I'm about to do, so stay tuned. We are gonna be gift wrapping today. I don't have all of my Christmas gifts in. I'm still waiting on packages to arrive, but that tree needs some presents underneath it. I love looking at trees, even if they're empty boxes that are wrapped. I just love the aesthetic of presents under the tree. Today's video kind of has two parts to it. So the first is that everything I'm wrapping my gifts with is from Dollar Tree. I wanted to do this challenge because I really think that you can make your presents and gifts look very aesthetically pleasing without having to spend a ton of money to do so. And instead of just going through everything I got one by one, I'll just give you a quick little overview right here. So you might be thinking, Matthew, you have a ton of wrapping paper. Yes, I do. You have to keep in mind it's Dollar Tree. Everything's $1. But the caveat with that is that there's less quantity. So with the wrapping paper, for instance, if you remember from my Vlogmas Day 4, I went and got gift wrap for my mom. So those rolls had 100 square feet each. These only have 30 square feet. So you kind of got to make up for that. And it's kind of a give and take with Dollar Tree, same with the ribbons. So a lot of these are only 9 feet long, which with ribbon around boxes, that's not a lot of ribbon. So you have to be a little creative. I'm probably only gonna be able to use this ribbon on like 1, maybe 2 packages, depending on how large they are. So you kind of got to get more, but I will say all of this was less than $30. So super excited about that. We're gonna see how it looks, if it bodes well. If not, you know what? Oh well, like, you're gonna rip it off anyways, why does it matter? So I had said there were kind of 2 parts to it. So the first part, I just wanted to challenge myself with using only things from Dollar Tree. The second part, which I've never seen a YouTuber do, not saying that it's not out there, is instead of just chatting while I'm wrapping presents, because let's get real, that's not gonna be very productive. I'm not gonna get very much wrapping done, and I think it's more exciting to see the presents when they're wrapped up, so I'd rather just do a time lapse of me wrapping all my presents and then showing you the final product of all of them, as opposed to just wrapping 3 or 4 presents while I'm talking. What I'm wanting to try is something I see from gaming channels, especially with The Sims. I love The Sims. I see gamers do what they call speed builds. So speed builds is like in The Sims whenever you build a house, but it takes hours. Like, it takes a long time to do a really nice build in The Sims. So what they do is they do a speed build where they time-lapse the whole footage, and then they just kind of chat with you while you watch the time-lapse. So I thought that would be really cool, and I could kind of give you guys some insight onto my creative processes while I was wrapping the gifts, and just chatting about some of the stuff I use, things that work, things that don't work. And I don't know, this could be a flop, you know? I'm just like I said yesterday, I'm a trendsetter, you know? So I gotta hold up to that. We'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on wrapping some presents, and we're gonna try this out. Okay everyone, so welcome to watching Matthew struggle wrapping some presents. I am super excited to be here today, or should I say tonight. I had quite the day. Can I say that? I have had an avalanche of a day, actually. It has been a terrible day. But as you can see, it started off pretty rough right here. I couldn't even get the wrapping paper to stay on the table. It was so annoying. It fell off at least 5 or 6 times. I promise you guys, it was ridiculous how many times it rolled off the edge of the table. But man, what a day it has been. So I actually started filming this video at before 8:30 this morning, and it was just one thing after another, and the teacher that I TA for messaged me and was like, so grades are due tonight, not Friday. So I spent all day grading, which was amazing, as you can imagine. So this was like one of the finally I got a break. This was one of the times where I had a break to do some wrapping. I did it in little spurts, which you'll be able to see throughout the video with the window in the back. As you can see, it just gradually get oh so darker. It's currently 9:29 p.m. right now. So, you know, filming, and I still have to get this uploaded today for Vlogmas. So we're doing it. And this first gift, I have to let you guys know, was the hardest for me right off the bat. It's my first gift of Christmas for wrapping. It's been a while since I've wrapped. And using this material from Dollar Tree, this paper was a little bit finicky, but I did learn to appreciate it. I hated it at the time I was wrapping this present because it just was not fitting to the box very well. And it was a little on the loose side. And I don't know about you guys, but when I wrap presents, I like it to be super tight. Like, I like the creases in the paper. I love everything to just look super clean. I love clean lines and things of that nature. Now, maybe not whenever I'm cutting the ends off like you see right here, but you know, you fold it up, you can't tell, it doesn't matter. But I will say that it was finicky on the ends, and what happened was on this end that I'm working on right now, it was a little too short. So whenever you brought the two kind of lips together, you could see a little sliver about this size, as you can see right there, where the box was exposed. So I was like, okay, well, I absolutely have to use this as like the top of the gift where my bow is going to go to cover it up. And you can see me trying out different bows, trying to see if I was going to use the blue one or the silver one to go along with this. But this was one of the bigger boxes that I had, so I knew I needed to use the wrapping paper that was like the longest that I had. And so I was trying to try this ribbon. So remember I said it was only a 9-foot ribbon. So as you can see, it is not much slack. There's not much slack at all. So I was just showing you where I reach over to show you guys that it's a short ribbon. Like 9 foot is nothing. So as I said, I'm pretty much only able to use one ribbon per package. And that held true throughout, which you'll see. But I also learned from this that decorating, or putting the final touches on rather, was something I was going to wait and do at the end because I was so indecisive. I had so many options. I didn't know what kinds of combinations I wanted to use, but it was also hard because I couldn't plan out like which colors of things I needed either. So I was like, it's gonna be easier to have everything wrapped up first so I can kind of see what I'm dealing with here and figuring out what exactly the color scheme I'm wanting to use or what I can use. I will let you guys know right off the bat, I stuck with only using Dollar Tree items. Okay, so I did not use any of the materials that I already had here at home for my mom and things of that nature. Literally everything I showed you in the video clip at the beginning of the video was what I used on all of these gifts. So if I ran out of something, I had to get creative, which you'll see soon. This is only the second thing I wrapped. So, you know, I'm still pretty hefty on, oh, I have all this stuff to use. Well, there towards the end, I was getting a little concerned. I was like, how am I gonna do this and make it look good? So, you know, we'll see. So I'm currently wrapping my brother's presents. And typically one thing that I love to do whenever I'm wrapping Christmas presents is, first of all, I don't like using name tags. I think they look tacky. And so I like it to look really nice and clean and pretty and simple throughout whenever I'm using these materials. So I don't use name tags, but one thing that helps me kind of remember whose is whose is I like to designate a certain wrapping paper to each person's gifts. Now I will say, because of the Dollar Tree wrapping paper only being 30 square feet, again, not very much, kind of like the ribbons, I could only use it on just a couple of gifts, if that. So, you know, I did the best with what I could do as far as that's concerned. But that's how I am able to kind of distinguish between whose is whose. And so here I'm just like getting the second box wrapped up. I had enough of the red paper in order to do both of his, so I was really happy about that and getting that finished. But man, oh man, let me get on with how my day was. So grading was a nightmare, trying to hurry up and get through that because I had all these papers that I had to read through, and that was just one assignment, was one of their final papers to do, and it was just like a 1 to 2 page paper. But when you have to do that for 25 people, and then on top of that try to leave thoughtful comments and responses for them to read on how to improve, or like to say, oh, this was a great thing that you came up with. You know, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So I was really stressed out all day today because I was like, I have to finish all my grading. Obviously that's the priority. I can't let my YouTube, you know, I can't say career, I don't have a career on YouTube, but I can't let YouTube dictate everything else. So it's like I have to make that a priority. So this is why we are after 9:30 now p.m. Central Standard Time, and still filming, clearly, the video that I have to upload in the next hour and a half. So we're gonna do it because I'm trying to stay true to Vlogmas being every day. So as long as I can get the video uploaded on each day of the month, I'm trying to stay true to 11 my time, because on the Eastern time, they are, you know, at 11 it's midnight, so it's the next day for them. So I'm trying to get this finished, and I've had some snafus with my computer not having enough memory and storage for these clips, because these clips were really long. It took me a while to wrap all these presents, and this is my first time shooting in 4K. So I don't know if you guys have noticed a difference in the image quality any, but this was it. This was my first time shooting in 4K, and so it takes up a lot more memory, a lot more gig, and all of that good stuff. So running into issues all night trying to get this video edited and everything, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm currently wrapping one of my mom's gifts. So I got the gold wrapping paper for her, and I don't know if you saw, but I actually ran out. Like, I could only wrap this one gift. So there you go, a $1 roll of wrapping paper from Dollar Tree gets you one gift. So when you think about it that way, it's actually really interesting, because I think Dollar Tree is great for, you know, whenever you don't want to obviously spend a lot of money up front at first, but I think in the long run you could actually lose money by only doing Dollar Tree things, because if I'm having to spend $1 just for the paper, and then I have $1 for the bow, $1 for ribbon, and then $1 for the other knickknacks I put on there, that's $4 on average per present, just to wrap it, to make it look pretty. It's $4 or $5. So it's like whenever you have 15, 20 packages, you're spending $100 for materials just to wrap with. So in the long run, I don't think Dollar Tree is the best option to do this with, but I will say one great thing about using Dollar Tree. So I tried to wrap this this box up with the paper, and the way the box was oriented, it didn't work and it didn't fit, and I was freaking out at first because I was like, I already cut it. And then luckily I was able to shift the box around and it worked perfectly fine. So yeah, that's what just happened. I had to like fold the tape under and then redo it. It was a mess getting through some of this. I will say Dollar Tree's paper is not very sturdy and durable. So that's whenever you're trying to be really tight with your creases and pulling on it and making it fit to the box really well. Like my brother's, for instance, the corner ripped, and I was like, well, I don't have enough paper to rewrap it. So you do what you can with what you have, and clearly it's a game. It's really trying to figure out what works best. And so it was really fun because it forced me to get creative in different ways, but the paper just did not lay very well. Although I was surprised that it had grid lines. I was not expecting Dollar Tree paper to have grid lines. So that's awesome. But back to what I was saying, the Dollar Tree items, it's great for variety. I think that's one of the best things about it, because there's no way I would have bought 7 or 8 different types of ribbons, because, you know, whenever you're buying it in larger quantities, it's like $8 a roll. So, you know, then that gets expensive trying to get different types of ribbon, because then that's like $64 right there. But I will say, like, we have a 100-foot roll in the other bedroom, and it's $7.99. So $8 for 100 feet, whereas at Dollar Tree, $8 would only get you 72 feet. So you see what I'm saying? It's cheap, but it's beneficial in different ways to do it. So I will say, I am very surprised at how things worked out as far as in the end with the color schemes and the extra products and items that I got to put on the outside with the ribbons and the little bells and ornaments that I like to just decorate with. And it worked out perfectly, just about. It really did, and I was not sure what I needed. I can't pre-plan all these gifts. I didn't know what Dollar Tree was gonna have. So I was very shocked at how well that went. Okay, so now you can see this shift in the window behind me. So it is nighttime. Like boom, boom, boom. And I wasn't even finished wrapping presents. So as I said, this has been a really rough day for me. So if this video is not quite up to par, especially with my editing, I am sorry. I'm doing the best I can here. That curveball with the grading today, I mean, it really messed everything up. I was planning today on filming 2 videos so I could finally get caught up, so I'm not making and editing the video on the same day I'm posting it, because I really want to get off of that. Ever since I did that extra music video on my other channel, it's got me all messed up on my schedule. But this is a present for my dad that I'm wrapping right now, and I love this silver paper. I think this silver paper is really pretty. The problem with this paper, and then also, I don't know if you noticed from the close-ups, the silver, the gold, the red, and then the white one that you can see back on that chair, they all have the same kind of pattern. It's not necessarily paisley, but it's just like a really pretty foliage pattern. The issue is that it is textured. And so with the texture, the tape doesn't really fit very well on it. So that was one issue I was having with this paper as well. But I will say that this blue paper that I'm currently using with the reindeer was one of the best ones to wrap with. It was super easy to do. This is another gift for my dad that I'm wrapping. And I know he doesn't watch my YouTube videos, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. But if you watched my Vlogmas Day 1 video for the Christmas gift ideas, I actually did get him a couple of glasses that have something etched on them, and I think I might have even mentioned it in that video. I think I actually did. So I actually took my own advice, and I'm gonna quit saying actually the best I can anyways whenever I'm not thinking about it. But that was one of the best ones that I had wrapped. But the thing that was also really funny though was that the reindeer paper, as you can see here, I had 2 reindeer papers, and both of them were the easiest papers to wrap with. So I don't know what it is about reindeer, but they were helping me out today. So, you know, Rudolph, there you go. I got some help from the reindeer. They were my saving grace. This paper was the best. So what's funny is if you keep seeing me kind of look over my shoulder to the right, all my parents were home at this point, and so it was kind of difficult to, you know, stay focused the whole time, because the dining room is literally in the middle of the house, so people are walking by all the time. But I was wrapping this present. First of all, it was not an easy thing to wrap because it was not a box. I mean, it is a box, it's box shaped, but it was not in a box. So you had these edges that would stick out in a weird way and everything. But I had to get my stepdad to not look because it was a present. A little dance there. But it was a present for both of my parents. And it's nothing super major either. It's actually something that's gonna help with them and organizing some things in their house, because being here for a little while, I've seen some of their drawers and everything. It's just like, I think you need a little organization for your cards I see they have these like birthday cards, Christmas cards all over the place. Like they're stored in all these weird places. I'm like, you guys need an organizer for those. So that's one of the things that I got them. It's the least exciting thing I got them. I promise I'm not one of those people that just gets presents like that you can use. So now we are getting into the decorating phase of putting the ribbons, the bows, all the extra things. I purposefully sped this whole part up just to get it going because you guys want to see what the final product is. I'm sure of that. If you've not already skipped forward to the video, I appreciate you if you haven't done that, but I did make sure that I sped this to the end up faster because it's kind of like, you know, I don't want you to see quite everything or the way it looks officially at the final product and everything like that. So here, perfect example, I had this gold ribbon I wanted to try on this blue and silver shiny wrapping paper, kind of as an accent color. There's my mom. She was trying to get me to try this brie on a cracker with some type of like pepper jam. And the brie and the pepper jam was awesome, but the cracker was not. So it just kind of ruined it for me. But she wanted me to try it and it was really good though. It was a nice flavor combo. But this gold ribbon, what I tried to do initially is put it on the other package and it just was not long enough. So I was like, oh shoot, I can't use a 9-foot ribbon. But I'll show you guys, I'll tell you what I did that made it work. And it's similar to what I did on the very first package with the big silver bow. And so I love this ribbon. This ribbon is one of my favorites. I saw that at Dollar Tree and I was like, I have to get this ribbon. And it's really simple. It's just a red ribbon, but it has these holes in it, like a lattice almost, and it's just really pretty. It's really simple. And so I had a lot of fun with the ribbons. The main issue with all of these ribbons was that they were just not long enough. So I could not like tie. I tried to do tying some of them and it just was not enough slack to make it look nice. So all I did was I taped it up and then I put the bow on top of it to hide it. Which for this one worked out fine because I was already planning on using that big gold bow anyways. But for the other ones, I only had, keep in mind, those 3 big bows. I was relying on the ribbons for everything else. So here, I tried it again. Yes, it's the same size ribbon, but then I had forgotten that I had that big blue bow. So I was like, oh, well, I can just do the same thing where I just wrapped up the ribbon around the present and put the bow on top instead of trying to tie a ribbon on top. So I promise that doesn't stay crooked like that either. My OCD is kicking in. I fixed that. I promise I do fix it. And then comes my brother's gifts here. So now I've used all my big bows. I used the blue one, the silver one, and the gold one. So I'm solely relying on ribbons that I have now, which kind of freaked me out a little bit because I was like, oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't know if I can pull it off. So I got this idea to just kind of stack my brother's gifts so I don't have to come up with 2 different ribbons. I can just make sure that it's one big ribbon around both of them. And I think this worked out pretty okay. Like it's kind of cute looking. It's a vibe a little bit, something you might not see as often. But oh man, I hate this paper because the ends look so weird. Like the ends look like the lines are going in every direction. It just looks terrible. I do not like that wrapping paper. So there's the funky shaped one, and I was actually really happy with how the wrapping paper fit around it. I thought I did a really good job, you know, doing the best I could without it being a flat surface. So now this is whenever things got a little bit more stingy. So I was running out of ribbon that at least matched. I had plenty of ribbon, but I was not going to use purple ribbon. I wasn't going to use pink ribbon or anything like that. I wanted it to match the wrapping paper the best I could. And so as you can see, I was like, oh man, I don't have enough white ribbon because each one of those was only for one package. Even on those rolls, I could only use them on one package. So what I did was I overlapped some colors and put them together with the ribbon in the center. That way it would all just kind of fill it in a little bit more. And I think it ended up working out really well with you know, getting it to look fuller, and with these bows I typically just like to scramble them up. I don't try to like overlay them in a certain way that it looks super pretty. And then here we go. So here's the final product. We have a really great color scheme, I think. I would have never put that gold ribbon on a blue and silver wrapping paper if it weren't for this challenge. Like, I didn't have another big ribbon that matched, and I was like debating with doing red on blue and silver, but I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But I think the ornaments and the pine cones and the bells, sleigh bells, and everything really tied it in together and elevated the look of them. But that gold ribbon on the blue and silver was one of the biggest shocks for me that I ended up loving so much. It was an unexpected thing that I had done. So here are all of the gifts, and unfortunately I cannot put them under our Christmas tree because our cats are gonna eat all of the things that I put on it. They'll try to eat the pine cones. One of our cats has pica, and he'll literally eat anything. It's kind of terrifying. You have to make sure the floors are completely clean at all times. He was all over this the whole time I was doing my wrapping today. He was all around the table. He was always trying to see if I dropped plastic on the floor. He loves plastic. That's his favorite thing to eat. And so I can't even put these under the Christmas tree. I wanted to end the video with putting the gifts under the tree, but I can't, unfortunately. So I have them in the closet behind me so they can at least look pretty. We can't have anything nice. That's why we can't have presents with fancy things on them here. But I do it anyways, and I'm just keeping them in the closet. So we're gonna pull Santa Claus and just pull out all the gifts on Christmas morning and be like, surprise, there are more gifts than you think, and they look stunning, you know? I should be Santa Claus. I should be hired as Santa Claus. I will wrap your presents for your kids, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. Just kind of getting to chat with you guys while you watch me wrap presents. So do all those great YouTube things. Like the video. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'd love to have you be a part of my channel. I promise it's a little more exciting in the other videos that I do. This has just been an off day for me, so just, you know, give me a little bit of slack here. And of course, let me know down in the comments below, which of these did you like the most? You know, try to be nice. Okay, it was a Dollar Tree challenge, but of these gifts that I wrapped, which one kind of fits your vibe or aesthetic? I'd love to hear which one you loved the most out of these. I'm gonna go ahead and get off because I only have an hour to get this edited and uploaded. So my anxiety is shooting through the roof right now, so I'm just gonna see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.